All right. Here we are again. Apologies for anybody that was on the stream and got booted. Um, More technical difficulties with the streaming platform that I'm using, so I think I'm going to have to investigate an alternative shortly. Thanks for your patience. Welcome to another Sessionwire Live. If you're just joining the stream, please say hello in the comment section. I love to see where you're from, where you're checking in from. Seems to be from all over the world every Wednesday. So thank you again for joining me. If you haven't yet, please visit www.sessionwire.com and sign up for your free Sessionwire account. And during this stream and for the rest of today, if you send me an email at support@sessionwire.com, tell me you are on the stream, I'll send you a code for 20% off an annual for 1 year Sessionwire artist subscription. So please feel free to reach out to me at support@sessionwire.com. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, so this might be a shorter stream than normal. So apologies for that. Please don't hesitate to put comments in the comments section. I will be sure to answer them live if I can. I'm going to make sure that I'm actually live here. Also need to make sure that I'm getting my audio out, which it appears that I am. Geez, when it rains, it pours. Okay, fantastic. It looks like I might have lost everybody when I restarted the stream here, so we'll forge ahead. If you stumble into the stream at some point, please let me know. This will be available after the stream, so you can go back and check out things if you need to. Let me just make sure I haven't missed any comments or anything like that. Oops. Go away. New. And there we go. Oh, wow. We'll just wait for some people to trickle in here. I see there are a couple of viewers already. If you're just joining, apologies for getting booted from the stream. If you are already on, I had some issues with my stream provider here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Had my hands full this morning. Okay, so today we're talking about Cubase slash Nuendo. They're both Steinberg products. They both run on the same audio engine. They're very similar in the way that they function. So I'm going to be doing this demo, this presentation in Cubase. So if you have questions related to Nuendo, I will do my best to answer. You'll have to excuse my lack of Cubase slash Nuendo shortcut knowledge. I'm a Pro Tools person. That's what I use primarily. So I will do my best to fly around here as quickly as I can and get into the nitty gritty of it. So again, if you're just dropping into the stream, please say hello in the comment section, ask any questions. The principles that I'm presenting here can be applied to any DAW, really. Here's Setup by Marshall has questions. Discoveries or solves for your problems. Marshall, you'll have to hit me up by email again, and we'll have to chat one-on-one about your problems. I connect with so many people on a day-to-day basis. It's difficult for me to remember who has reached out to me about what. So please send me an email, and we'll follow up that way. The live stream is probably not the best place for that, just off the top of my head. Yeah, please, if you're dropping in on the live stream, please drop a comment. Tell me where you're from, what your name is. what you're doing with Sessionwire, what you're hoping to get out of Sessionwire. If you have questions, please ask them. This is what this is all about. This is a time for me to kind of walk you through a certain DAW, but also answer your questions as we go. So without further ado, we will jump in. I'll get rid of all of my shortcuts at the bottom, or my toolbar. They're distracting. So here we go. This is the Sessionwire application, and this is the way that it opens. Every install, the fresh install, it will default a certain way. It'll default, hopefully, to your system inputs and outputs that allow you to get audio into it and audio out of it, just like you would with any kind of video communication software like Zoom or Google Meet. So we'll go through the buttons and the selections real quick. If I hover over the left side of the app here, I see a series of buttons. This microphone button is for our Talkback stream. It's mono. It has echo suppression and noise cancellation on it. And it will default to your system input as the microphone and your system output as the speaker. In my case, I have a microphone plugged into channel 1 of my audio interface, and my audio interface is my system's input. Now, that microphone has to be plugged into channel 1 or 2 in order for the application to see it. Just like Zoom, just like Google Meet, it can't see channels 3 and above. That's just the way that stereo software, stereo drivers work for these applications. Sometime down the line, we'll look at expanding on that. But for now, channel 1, most audio interfaces have a way of routing your hardware inputs to the software inputs. So, for example, this microphone is actually plugged into channel 19, but in my Antelope audio interface, I've routed it to software input number 1. So, microphone into channel 1 as a microphone, and the speaker is set to my audio interface. So if I connected to somebody in Sessionwire, I would be able to hear them speaking to me immediately without changing anything. Pardon me, I'm going to be doing a lot of that. I've caught some kind of sickness over the weekend, and it's kicking my butt a little bit. So there we go. That's the Talkback stream. So immediately, even without being on a paid subscription, I can call anybody in Sessionwire and speak to them face-to-face through the video stream and the Talkback stream. When I want to begin working in a DAW, that's when you need to upgrade to the artist level features. It unlocks the high quality audio stream, the auto mute, file transfer system, and a range of other features coming down the road. So next button over is the camera, and I can select different camera if I want to. This is my drum set behind me for when I'm doing live tracking for people. And the next button over is screen share. I can pick a screen to share or an application to share if I want to share only a window from a certain application. Pardon me. And the last button here is the HQ audio stream. This is a stereo stream. It's unprocessed. It transmits at an equivalent 48K 32-bit floating. So basically whatever you put in to the stereo stream comes out the other side the way that you hear it. So its source defaults to the Sessionwire Send plugin. So you can put the Sessionwire Send plugin in your DAW anywhere, and whatever touches the Send plugin in terms of audio will stream to the other side of the Sessionwire connection. And the destination of the stream from the app on my computer is my audio interface. So if somebody streamed me audio, it would go straight out of the Sessionwire app to my audio interface. I don't need a DAW open in order to hear whatever somebody is streaming to me through the HQ audio stream. And that is how the Sessionwire application defaults. It's meant to give you an easy way to connect to somebody and immediately stream them audio without either one of you changing settings in the Sessionwire application. Now, when we go to bring audio from Sessionwire into Cubase or Nuendo, that's when things change a little bit. So we'll get into that in a minute. For now, I'm going to give Dan Smith a call, and we're going to connect. And Dan Smith is my other computer over here. And now I'm connected to Dan. So if Dan were to stream me audio right now, I would be able to hear it immediately because the HQ audio destination of the application is set to my audio interface. So I'm going to get Dan to play some music. We'll see his meter here, this HQ meter on his side of the app, start to bounce, and I'll be able to hear the music, and I think you will be able to as well through the stream. Here we go. Great. Heard that just fine. I didn't have to change anything in Sessionwire after I installed it. Okay, now we're going to flip into Cubase. So where did my Cubase go? Here we go. Excellent. So I've got a session here. It's a bunch of drums. You won't be able to hear anything that I'm playing in here until I stream it over to Dan. So I'll play it. We'll see the meters bounce. Everything looks great. Meters are bouncing. I can hear it on my headphones just fine. I'm going to now stream that to Dan. So this would be like a mix review type setup, or if I was actually tracking these drums live, he'd be able to hear and see me tracking the drums in real time over Sessionwire. So in the little mixer view here, I'm just going to flip to the inserts. And on the stereo out bus right here, this is just like the default Cubase / Nuendo stereo out bus. I'm going to search for Sessionwire and put the Sessionwire send plugin at the end of my effects chain. And now, if I bring Sessionwire back to the foreground here, oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm going to bring that window back always on top. And if I play in Cubase, we're going to see the meters move in the send plugin here. And the meters on my side of the Sessionwire call will bounce as well, which means that I'm successfully streaming audio to Sessionwire. And if Dan has his side set up correctly, he can do whatever he wants with that incoming audio. So here we go. Excellent. And I think everybody in the stream out there watching should be able to hear that audio now because I'm streaming it through the driver. So give me a thumbs up in the comment section if you heard that. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Shout out to Telefunken Microphones and their free multi-track sessions. This is some drums recorded at Peter Gabriel's studio. Pretty cool. You can go check those out. So now I'm set up to stream audio out, and Dan is streaming audio to me, and I can hear it. This is the simplest setup. This is how we recommend getting set up. You don't need to change anything in Sessionwire in order to speak to anybody right off the bat. We want to be able to route the Talkback in and out of the Sessionwire app directly without bringing it into the DAW if we can do that. Some systems like Pro Tools HDX systems, or studios where you're using a hardware console or recording to tape or that kind of thing, you want to be able to route all of that audio wherever you need it to go so you can bring it into the DAW with our plugins. But again, this is the simplest way to get set up. Of course, in Cubase, we have our control room section as well. There's no reason why you can't put the Sessionwire send plugin on the control room inserts. When we begin bringing audio in to Cubase from somewhere else, that becomes a bit of a problem because we have to avoid sending the audio that we're receiving into Cubase from somebody else from going back out to that person through the control room with the send plugin on it, if you understand my meaning. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this right now. I'm not going to use a control room section of Cubase. In the interest of keeping everything similar DAW to DAW. I'm just going to flip over to the meter so you don't get any, don't get confused there. I'm going to create, again, you have to excuse my slowness here. I'm going to create an audio connection, and this is just how I choose to do it in Cubase. You can do it otherwise. I'm going to create an FX channel. It's going to be stereo, and I'm going to call it Sessionwire Receive. I'm going to actually just choose the Sessionwire Receive plugin, and I'm going to go Sessionwire HQ Receive. Now, when I create that FX channel, it populates it immediately with the Sessionwire Receive plugin, which is great. That's exactly what I want. And now, in order to bring audio into Cubase from Sessionwire, I'm going to change my HQ audio destination, so the destination of the audio from the Sessionwire app, to the Sessionwire Receive plugin. And if I get Dan to hit play, we're going to see his meters bounce here, and we're going to see the Receive meters bounce here, and we're going to see the meters bounce here on this new effects channel that I've created. Here we go. Okay, anybody see a problem with that? Oh, I'm getting thumbs up, everybody. Awesome. Steven, good to see you. Marshall's still here. Great. Good to see you both. Thanks for dropping in. Anybody see a problem with what just happened there? I'm going to do this again. So I'm streaming audio, or Dan is streaming audio. I'm going to see his meters move here. We're going to see the receive plugin move, because that's where the audio is ending up from the Sessionwire app. It's going to move right into this channel here, but there's going to be another issue. So check it out. Here, we'll do it again. Okay, so the issue is I'm seeing the stereo out meters bouncing, which is normal because I'm bringing the audio into Cubase to hear it. But that stereo out channel has the Sessionwire send plugin on it, which means that I'm sending the audio straight back to Dan, which is not good because he's going to hear his local audio and the audio I'm sending back to him together, except the audio I'm sending back to him will be behind by however much time it takes for his audio to get to me and then back to him. Not good. So let me slide this back into view. I realize it's off the off of the screen. So one more time, just for clarity's sake, I'll talk through the signal flow as this is happening. So I'll turn this down a little bit. Okay. So we see Dan's meters moving here, which means he's sending audio to me. That audio is showing up here in the receive channel that I've created because it has this plugin on it. So audio showing up here. That audio is going to the stereo out channel, which is normal because the routing is set up to do that. If I find my... Yeah, see, this is where my Cubase knowledge is suffering. If I flip to this screen instead. Because the output of this receive channel is set to stereo out. That's where the audio is headed, and it hits this Sessionwire send plugin right here and goes straight back out my meters to Dan. Okay? So that's a problem. So my solution to this, and this is just how I choose to deal with it. You can, kind of figure out an alternate way if you choose. I choose to create a different audio connection, a different set of outputs. So I'm going to add a bus. I'm going to name it mix. So I actually create a physical mix bus that's also routed out the same outputs as the stereo out. And this is where I actually am going to place the Sessionwire send plugin. I'm also going to take all of the audio in my session that I've recorded. I'm going to change the output to that mix bus that I've created. And again, I don't know the keyboard shortcuts. Is it the same as Pro Tools? It is. Look at that. Now all of the audio in my session that I want to stream to the other side of the connection is routed to this mix bus that has the Sessionwire send plugin on it. All of the audio that I don't want to go to the other side of the Sessionwire connection is routed to the stereo out channel. So that is this right here, this receive track. So now if Dan were to play audio, it'll show up in Cubase, but it won't go back to Dan. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So now we're successfully sending audio out of Cubase, and we're bringing audio back into Cubase. The other cool thing that you can do, you can record this incoming audio. Cubase has a neat little feature that you can actually put plugins on inputs, so you can track with the plugin. So I could just as easily put this plugin, this receive plugin, on my stereo in and set up a new audio track. Let's just do it. Pro audio track, stereo, and this is Sessionwire record. Create this audio track, and the input is going to be stereo in. So if I flip back to my timeline, find a little empty space here. Let me turn off loop. Find a little space, and if I hit record and Dan hits play, I'll be recording what comes from the receive plugin that's on this stereo input. And here we go. Recording. Awesome. There we go. So I can hear that, and it's not going back to Dan because of this crazy routing that I've set up here. It's coming in. You can either have it come in through the input like I did there, or on this track, and you can route this track to any other track to record it to. And he's not hearing it because this Sessionwire record track that I created is routed out the stereo out. If I wanted to stream back to Dan what I just recorded from him, I would change the output of this track to mix, and if I flip back to my timeline and hit play, we'll see it streaming back to him here. If I turn it off, record mode. Ooh, interesting. Now this is, again, where my Cubase knowledge isn't necessarily shining. Oh, it's got the receive plugin on it, so I have to disable the receive plugin first. Good. I'm going to slide this back over here. I'm a little bit harebrained today. Got some sort of sickness going on, so apologies for that. Great. So if you have any questions at this point, please put them in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer while we're live here. We're going to have a quick look at routing Talkback audio in and out of Cubase. It's very straightforward. Yeah, we're just going to do it. I'm going to jump into it here. Project, add track audio. I'm going to add two mono tracks, both routed to stereo out, and we're going to go Sessionwire Talkback send is what the first one is going to be called. I'm going to rename these, and the second one is going to be called Sessionwire Talkback receive. Okay. The Sessionwire Talkback send track, I'm going to leave the input as my left of the stereo in, because that's where I see my microphone signal showing up right here. So here, slide this back over in here. That's fine. I'm going to change the output to no bus because I don't need to hear my own audio coming in through this track. So if I input arm this track, I see my signal show up. And now if I insert the Sessionwire Talkback send plugin, I can see the signal in that plugin. And if I change the microphone of the Sessionwire app to Sessionwire Talkback send plugin, I can still see the meter moving right here, but now the audio is coming from Cubase, from this input to this channel that has the Talkback send plugin on it. So that means that, you know, if I wanted to put an EQ or something before it, something lightweight, vocals maybe. Yeah, why not? Put Nectar on it. Of course, this is, yeah, I might have just messed that up. There we go. I hope everybody's still on the stream. That was probably a bad choice choosing an isotope plugin for this live stream. So, dialogue, intensity, go. Waiting for you to play audio. Yeah, so not exactly the perfect plugin choice for this. So I can put a plugin before it and process my vocal. Going to Sessionwire is the point. Now to bring Talkback audio from the Sessionwire app into Cubase, I'm going to place the Sessionwire Talkback receive plugin on this track. It doesn't really need an input. You can just leave it that way, but its output is going to be stereo out, so I can hear it without it touching the Sessionwire send plugin. And if I change my speaker in the Sessionwire app to Sessionwire Talkback receive plugin, and Dan were to talk, get Dan to unmute here.
So Dan's talking,
and I see
his audio show up here on the Sessionwire Talkback receive plugin.
And that's it. That's bringing audio in and out of Cubase. And like I said, the same thing applies to Nuendo. The same principles apply to any DAW, really. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at Sessionwire.com. There we have contact forms in the chat bubble. You can reach out to me at support@Sessionwire.com. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. I think I'm going to wrap the stream up for today at this point. Like I said, a little bit under the weather, a little bit harebrained, but I hope I touched on the points. If I haven't, please, again, reach out to me. Yeah, next week the scheduled stream is about. I have to check my calendar. Digital Performer. So for all you Motu fans, please join me in that one. We're going to go through Digital Performer. We helped Motu with a live stream last week where I tracked drums over Digital Performer for them. It was fantastic. We'll kind of go through that same setup. And if you have any questions, you can drop them and I'll answer them live on the stream. For now, thanks for joining me. Next week, 10:30 a.m. PST, we'll be doing Digital Performer, and I hope to see you there. We'll see you at the next stream.